George Clooney, he's back into making movies, which George Clooney has an interesting career at the when you go back and look at it, because initially he was just kind of like popping up in random stuff back in the 80s and everything. The fact that he's in Return of the Killer Tomatoes is always insane to me and stuff. And the fact that he plays the security guard actor that gets murdered at the very beginning of Return to Horror High, and things like that. That was what his filmography was as far as movies. And then of course on TV he was showing up. He was on The Facts of Life, he was on Roseanne, and the fact that he just was like popping up in these random shows. But then it was ER, is where he got that notoriety and popularity, and people just gravitated towards him. And after spending a few seasons on there, he said, let me try this movie thing again. And it's ironic that From Dusk Till Dawn was the movie that kickstarted his movie career. And I mean, when you look at the movies that he did like at that time and everything, so like I say, you got From Dusk Till Dawn, which is his reintroduction to the big screen, which is kind of insane. When you look at it, you think that's the movie that he kicked things off again with. And then he does, and it's funny that both of these movies came out in the same year. So yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn in 96, yeah, One Fine Day also in 1996, which is a favorite of mine too, which I'm probably going to do on the podcast at some point. Then you get Batman and Robin in 97, which I covered on the podcast when I did Batman month. The Peacemaker also in 97 with him and Nicole Kidman. And then you get this movie in 1998, and he's off to the races after that. It's like George Clooney, movie star. But I feel like this movie is a perfect blend of what you got from the characters that he portrayed from Dusk Till Dawn to The Peacemaker. It's like those characters all kind of meshed into one singularity character here of Jack Foley, and everything, with how he is, charismatic and everything. George Clooney, people kind of forget George Clooney was like that dude for a number of years, and I feel like this movie really sells it.